Youth sport took a turn for the worse in the early 21st century when a shift of focus towards specialization of sport came to the forefront. The keeping up with the Joneses culture grew exponentially when it came to a perceived success, or much more alarming, an expected future success of our youth. An undue burden and pressure was placed on our children who wanted to play sports because it is fun, healthy, and social. This pressure has started with a false narrative driven by a pay-to-play youth soccer model. In a capitalistic society, it would surprise no one to find out that opportunity-driven people would look to take advantage of an uneducated soccer parent community, making promises of scholarships, championships, and immortality. To be clear, I do not mean parents who don't have an education. I'm talking about an exploitation of misinformed parents who only want what's best for their child. So we, soccer coaches, clubs, and administrators, the professionals, are forced to compete for two types of resources: money and players. For clubs to get the money they had or have to paint a picture to the customer, the parent, that their club is unlike any other. Playing for Club X will give your child, the end user, an experience like no other. Furthermore, if you stick with our club, the opportunities you will receive are unparalleled. So clubs started to pop up everywhere, trying to catch the eyes of parents, shining pretty things in front of them, such as beautiful facilities, a higher level of competition, paid professional coaches, player exposure, college scholarships. And the clubs have had to approach it this way because the clubs want to be competitive. But it came with a cost. There's no secret that it costs money to play club soccer. Thousands among thousands of dollars are spent on an annual basis for children to play soccer, and what are they getting out of it? Beautiful facilities? Check. Higher level of competition? Sure. Professional coaches? Speculative. Exposure? Rarely. College scholarships? Few and far between. It's like offering a Lamborghini because it is the best car you can drive. This is just an example. It will make all your neighbors think that you are well off, so of course you want it. Problem is, that car has no engine, and you spent a lot of money to make it appear like you are doing the right thing, but the second you want to get somewhere, you're only sitting in a nice car in the driveway wondering why you spent so much money on it. This is youth sport culture, and it's deeper than that. Specialization of sport leads to increased and higher risk of injury, increased psychological stress, an overwhelming increase in the number of children who drop out of a sport at a young age. Little Timmy loves playing video games because mom and dad will leave them the hell alone. If a new club were to establish themselves and say, "Come play for us. We offer all the beautiful shiny toys that all the other clubs do, but your child is more likely to get hurt, both physically and psychologically, but don't worry, they'll most likely drop out early." You wouldn't go to that club. And yet we do. Every day, every season, every year. It's astonishing. I will go back to our two primary resources that clubs are competing for: your dollars and your children. Those who can afford it, sign them up, thank you for your money. Those who can't, well, they miss out. Those who barely can are missing car payments just to keep their kid in a program that is not worth, most of the time, the dollars in the first place. Your children? There are not enough of them to fill the clubs, but you keep going back. So they create second teams and third teams and fourth teams, fifth teams. Is it really a status symbol if your child is playing on the fifth level team of a club with the same name? There's not enough players. So players are playing on 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams. It's too much. But it's not all just about this. It's about the pressure we have put on ourselves through a broken club soccer model, and through that pressure it has turned good people into complete maniacs. Yes, I'm talking to you coaches. Yes, I'm talking to you parents. The pressure of competition due to false hopes and unrealistic expectations has turned you into a whole other person. I know many of you, have met many of you. Have you ever said these words? Well, John's a great guy if you were sitting down and having a beer with him, but when he gets on the field, that's a problem. When we focus on the results, we lose focus of player development. Folks, let me say this very clearly. The results do not matter. The outcomes are what matter. And we have the ability to control our outcomes. The focus is in the wrong place. We need to focus on player development, and a fundamental shift is coming.